This is possibly the most important video of the series. Here I'm going to show you how to filter data in R. If you have done filtering in programs like Excel, here I'm showing you in OpenOffice, you know that the process is quite cumbersome. It takes a lot of effort. You have to do it manually. It's way easier in R, and I'll show you how to do that. Before I start, I like to remind you that the text details of all videos are posted in Substack. You can check the Substack move seamlessly at .substack.com and find the transcripts of every video in full detail. Also, we have a GitHub page where I post all data that you use for these tutorial and others are posted there. And you can also check our website moveseamlessly.com. I'll be posting more information on various topics there. Let me demonstrate how filter works by working out an example. Here I open the R window and I'm going to clean the screen first and then show how it works. I'm going to first load tidyverse by doing library tidyverse. And while it's running, I'm going to load this file called data.xls. It's an Excel spreadsheet and it has two sheets. The first one has a number of names, first name, last name, address, zip code, and time for update of the record. And the second sheet has names, score in English, and score in math. So I'm going to load them one at a time. First, I have to change my folder. So I need to change it to the desktop where my files are. Let me do that. And then I'll do another library command, library read Excel. You don't need it if your file is in TSV or CSV format, but if you have a file in Excel format, you need to do library read Excel. You don't need to install it because it automatically gets installed when you install tidyverse, but it does not get loaded by default. All right, so let me now read the file. I'm going to read each sheet in a separate data frame. So data one is read Excel data.xls and then sheet equals 1. So I'm going to tell here that I want to read the first spreadsheet into this data frame called data 1. All right, so that's done. Okay, I'm going to read the sheet 2 as data 2. So I have two data frames and each carrying one sheet of the data frame. Let's take a look. So here I have data 1. It's a table with 500 times 7. So 500 rows, 7 columns. The columns are first, last, address, city, state, zip, and updated. And then if I check, let me clean the screen. Data 2, that's a table with 50 names and English and math. So let me first run filter on this second spreadsheet, and then we'll do it on the first spreadsheet. As you know, the spreadsheets are called data frames in R, and I'll be using that language. So when you do filter, there are multiple types of data, and each has a set of functions that you can use in R to do filter. So first type of data is numbers, the numerical data. Second is strings or characters, all text kind of data. And the third is date form of data. So I have in the other spreadsheet, I've shown you this date column. It's the updated column. So date or date time has to be done separately, and there are some comments for that. Now, also it's possible to combine multiple comments. For example, you can have one numerical column and one text column or a date column. So you can combine multiple columns to do filter. And let me show you one at a time, first with the simplest ones. So I'm going to do data 2 and pick everyone whose English score is above 70. So to do that, you do data2 and then percent greater percent, filter, and English greater than 70. Okay, so that gives me 26 names. Table 26 times 3. Original file had 50 names. You can see that the entire data frame is not displayed. If you really want to see the entire data frame, then you have to do percent greater percent as dot data dot frame. The entire data frame doesn't get displayed because often when we want to do data analysis, the file size is big and you don't want to have 10,000 lines being displayed every time you do any filter or select or anything. So that's kind of annoying, and that's why this tidyverse format shows you only the first 10 lines, and then if you want, you can display the rest of the lines. So here I did run the command data2 filter and then as data frame because I want to see all of the outputs. And you can clearly see that every person here in this set have English score above 70. Okay. Now I can do filter on two columns. Let me clean the screen and talk. I'm going to do filter English greater than 70 and also math score greater than 70. To do that, I can do this. I can do two filters one after another because when you do AND, you can do one after another and that should give you the result of AND. So math greater than 70. And now the number went down to 20. Or the second option is to combine the AND command together with the English. So you do this. And once again, you got 20 times 3. Now, the advantage of the last command is that you can also do OR. So this time I'm going to do uh, filter with English greater than 70, the score in English is greater than 70, or the score in math greater than 70. The symbol for OR is this. And this time I have 41 names, and you can quickly see the first few. This person has English score is 56, but the math score is 86. This person has both scores 79 and 71, above 80. This person has 61 and 71. And then let me see whether I can find somebody who is good in English but not so good in math. So as dot data frame. Here I found this person who has 90 and 66. So good in English, but not so good in math. All right. So this is how you can combine two filter commands by and or. Let me clear the screen again. Now I'm going to pick data 1 and show you how to do filter on characters. The first kind of filter you can do is data 1 person getter person filter, and then let's say you want everyone whose first name is Justin. So you do first equal Justin. So that gives you 5 names. All of them have first name Justin. Okay. Let me clear screen and show you some other types of filter that you can do with characters. The second one is where you want to do a partial search. So for example, you want to find out those whose first name starts with J. To do that, you use something called a regular expression. And I'll have a separate video on strings and regular expression. I'll go over this library called stringr, which is also part of tidyverse, and that's where I'll talk about these in detail. Here, I just want to quickly show you what is possible. So you can do filter, and then you want to do uh, str underscore detect, and then first, and so this command means the name starts with J. Don't worry if you don't understand these syntaxes, but I'll go over them in a later video. I just want to show you the way to do it. Okay, so this time I got 65 names. Remember, the original data frame for data 1 has 500 names. So we have 65 with first name starting with J. Okay. The other type of filter that you want to do with these characters is where, let's say, you want to check whether a person is from Indiana, which is IN. So for that, you will do filter and then state equal IN. So that's simple, and that's very similar to what we have done before, where we checked whether name is equal to Justin. But what if we want to check whether the state is Indiana or Ohio or Illinois? To do that, R has a syntax. I'll show you. So here you do state, and then you use a vector with Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois. And then instead of doing state equal, you do state %in%. That means you want to do a filter where the state is in this data frame, in this vector, in OH and IL. And let's run it. Now I have 71 names, and you can check IL, OH, IN, and like that. The last filter that I want to show you is on the date column. And once again, I'll have a separate video on date time where I'll go over a number of concepts related to date. But here just quickly, I wanted to give you a demo of what is possible. So if you go back to the data 1 frame, you'll see that the last column is updated. And this is the data format of date time. So here is what I can do. So data 1 and then filter and updated greater than 2024-02-01. And this time, instead of 500 names, I have 113 names. And what I'm checking is the name is updated, the record is updated after 2024-02-01. So in R, the date columns or the date entries are ordered, and you can use this syntax to find out which dates are above or later than 2024-02-12, which means it's the 1st of February. Plenty of other things can be done on dates, and I'll go over those in the other video, as well as I'll show how to format dates, because often when you work with dates, you will find that the format is not always correct. R prefers to have a certain format, and if your data doesn't come with a format, with that format, then you can edit the format with a separate library. I'll go over that in the later video.